Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the Inner Gamer Podcast. You are still listening and watching as everything. There's a stranger in the room right now. If you're watching on video, there's a stranger.
Did you literally
here.
just walk through so you could do a lap?
Wow. So this is what we have to deal with behind the scenes in the studio. We have random people.
Round two. Here he goes. Yep.
This guy that walks
There he
around
is.
through the room. If you guys are listening to this on the podcast, make sure you go check it out on YouTube on Thursday because it'll be there and you can see that weirdo walking through the room.
I prefer a fuckboy.
A relic from lost times.
That's a relic from
Ghost of
lost
previous
times.
hosts.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. This is our discussion topic. We are going to talk about the future of the Xbox One X. It is coming out
We've
this
talked
year,
a lot about the Xbox One X over the
We
past
have.
year.
formerly known as Project Scorpio.
Formerly known as Project
But-
Scorpio, a very impressive machine, a lot of technical specs to it that are going to make it a very powerful machine.
Yes.
However,
Yeah. However, so it's there's been a lot of hype around the Xbox, and we wanted to talk about this a little bit because it's coming out in November.
Yes.
To recall, November 4th. Is that the right date?
I think so. I think it's early, like the first couple of days of November. Yeah.
It is going to be out, and it is hyped around the hardware. It's going to be true 4K gaming. We're going to have teraflops upon teraflops of graphicing power, whatever that means. You know, that kind of thing.
So many
is the
flops.
thing. So many floppity flops and stuff. And
You're literally the tech guy.
I know. Well, I never knew what teraflop was until this thing came out because we talk about like gigabytes and stuff on PC graphic card stuff, but whatever. So the thing that's interesting about this is we have a list of games that are going to be 4K gaming. I went onto the Microsoft website and found the list of games that are going to be 4K titles.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read them off for you guys. So these are the ones that are 4K gaming and Xbox One X enhanced games. So we have Forza Motorsport 7, or if we have the Forza Motorsport, we have Shadows of War, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, The Evil Within 2, The Witcher 3, Final Fantasy 15, Sea of Thieves, and Crackdown 3. Now, of those 3 titles, only 3 of them are Xbox One X or Xbox exclusive games.
Right.
Forza, Sea of Thieves, and Crackdown.
Yep.
Now, we already know that Sea of Thieves is 2018.
Yep. Sea of Thieves, we knew for a fact it was going to be 2018. And the assumption was that Crackdown 3 was going to be a launch title to come out with the Xbox One X.
With Forza Motorsport. And now,
unfortunately, it has been delayed.
So,
this is huge news.
What do you think of this?
This is crazy to me because you would think with this new piece of hardware coming out, we knew Xbox needed to come out of the gate swinging. Like we knew, we said this back in E3 that they needed to come in hard with the games in order to really keep the franchise relevant. For this new piece of hardware, like this big Billy Badass console, it needed something to show that. It really needed something to flex its muscle and say, this is a great gaming machine.
Right.
And now we don't have it. Now we have to wait 2 more months. I say 2 more months, whenever the hell Crackdown 3 is officially going to be released.
Yeah.
To show that off.
And it sounds like spring 2018, which is so far.
That's way too long.
Disappointing. And like Crackdown 3, like you could tell that this was a game that was going to showcase the hardware pretty well. Like it's huge, massive open world, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of
lot of explosions, the destruction of the atmosphere, the multiplayer aspect of it. It just the detail the game was willing to display and the way that they were going to be telling whatever story Crackdown 3 is going to be.
Yeah.
We were going to see the Xbox One X really hit that.
Yeah.
And now we're not. So now you're just going to get a console.
Right. And now, so that means the only title that we have on our list for Xbox exclusive game is Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
And I mean, that appeals to some people, but that's a very small number
that is
of
a
people.
very niche audience, and that is not going to be enough to.
And you have Madden NFL that's coming out, but I don't think anybody's going to go out and buy an Xbox One X. Like those guys that play Forza, I mean, Forza maybe, but not enough to buy a single console.
No.
And then Madden, those guys already have Xbox Ones or Xbox One S's, so. Why would they want to upgrade?
Why? Yeah. Why?
They don't care as much about graphics as much as they do.
They don't.
The gameplay. So I'm curious. Like you're an Xbox guy.
I am.
Like, what are your impressions of the state of Xbox One X when it launches now?
One of the biggest reasons I'm still looking to get an Xbox One X is just because I bought one of the first iterations of the Xbox One, and unfortunately, I am running out of space on my external hard drive already. And
your external.
My external is running out. So, well, and I do put a lot of stuff on my external hard drive. Not just
you download
games.
all the free games. And
I
stuff
download
like that?
every single free game every single month, and I keep them just because I like having a library of games I can come back to. I mean, just because I'm not playing it right now doesn't mean I'm not going to play it in the future. So I keep them all. And then I do get movies. Like if I want to get a digital download of something, I'll put it on that external hard drive, and I'll keep it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
For me to get the Xbox One X, it's a smart purchase for me at this time because, I do want a larger amount of space. I do want more power in my console. My other hang up right now is I still don't have a 4K TV. I'm still just going off standard HD previous TVs. So
that's true. And they will, I mean, they did say that they're going to have some enhancements to it, but I don't know what how significant those enhancements will be.
It's too generic.
Like you really need the 4K TV.
You really do. Now I have a number of friends who have 4K TVs, and they're gonna love getting this. I can literally think about 4 friends off the top of my head who I know who are going to be day one going out to getting the Xbox One X. For that very reason of that 4K resolution with their
because they're Xbox
4K
guys.
They are.
They're because like the PlayStation 4 has been out and it's not true 4K. Well, I mean it is 4K. There's games that are 4K, but the whole system's not fully 4K.
Yeah, the whole system doesn't necessarily support it.
Right. So this will be there, but I don't know. For me I'm a PC guy, so like I have 4K gaming on my PC.
Yeah,
so
you've already pretty much got your 4K gaming with your.
But the Xbox, I feel like to get anybody else besides Xbox devoted people, they really need to have the games there, and they really need to have the UI needs to. The UI still is a concern for me. Like there's things about that just aren't appealing, and I don't know. I don't know what I expect. I don't know where this is going to be like a year from now, because if they don't bring anything new or announce anything new that's gonna, like Sea of Thieves, for example, that's a game that does not need a 4K console.
No,
to
not
play.
at all.
You know what I mean?
It's not a 4K graphics game.
Yeah, and
that could run just fine on. To be perfectly honest, Sea of Thieves looks like it could run just fine on a Switch even. Yeah,
it could. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely they have some water effects that are really solid there and exciting, but when it comes to the actual like overall gameplay, I mean, it's got a cartoony kind of look to it, and it's gonna be. It doesn't need that. So Crackdown needs it. Forza needs it. I mean, these games that we mentioned earlier, like Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed, and all of those games are things that if you're an Xbox guy, you're gonna want to get. You might want to get a new console for those games. But again, the issue is Xbox isn't growing hardly at all. Like they're still lagging behind. They need to figure out how to pull those other guys into their ecosystem.
Yeah,
and they're trying to meld the PC and the Xbox together. But as a PC person, I'm gonna buy Forza, I'm gonna buy Sea of Thieves, and I'm gonna buy Crackdown on my PC.
On your PC,
yeah.
They're on a very isolated island right now, and it sucks because loyal fans, I mean, such as myself, we want to see them succeed, and we've wanted to see like very high quality games come from them. That I've seen in the past, from Condemned, Gears of War, the Halo franchise.
Yeah,
I mean they've proven they can have exclusive IP that is successful, but they just haven't done that lately.
Yeah, all we've had. I was looking at a list in the last roughly year or whatever, and we've had Forza Horizon 2. We've had this new Forza Motorsport. We've had Halo Wars 2. We had a Halo 5 and Gears of War 4. That's it. That's been the exclusive. Oh, and ReCore. A lot of ReCore, which oddly enough, they came out and said that they're making a definitive edition for ReCore, which it didn't even sell very well. So I'm surprised that they're doing that.
And even then, like a lot of that stuff too, those games that we were just talking about, like with Halo Wars, that's a very niche audience.
Right.
Halo 5 did not do very well.
No.
At all.
Requisition packs, man.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
Anyway. Look back at previous podcasts.
Yes. Check that out.
And then something like Gears of War 4, which was good. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you need more than just one good title to sell a whole console. You need a multitude of games that would bring a player to it. And there's just not enough legs underneath this. Yes, it is a powerful console, but what am I doing with it?
I think they did the right things when they announced the Play Anywhere project, because what I think is important is if they have these Xbox PC exclusive titles that carry them forward, you're going to, one, get your PC market, and then two, you're going to get the Xbox guys, and then maybe some PS4 guys that don't have, they're console people. So they might jump ship to get an Xbox because they want this. They need to be pushing more of those out, and I think that's important that they're doing that a lot, because like I would never buy Crackdown if I have an Xbox One, but I don't think I'm going to buy another one. So I'm glad that they're doing that, but there's three titles. They need to like ramp up the game a little bit and bring out some more stuff.
And I don't know if it's necessarily that they need to pull something out of Microsoft Studios, or if they just need to start really hitting it home with just some new developer out of the out of left field, something that,
and on that
they need to invest.
They are doing a pretty good job with trying to tap into. A Way Out, that's a good example.
Yeah.
That's an Electronic Arts thing, but that was on a showcase with Xbox. Like they were showing that off, and I think that's going to run better on Xbox. It's got the hardware for it for sure, and Anthem will definitely run really solid on the Xbox. But again, that's going to be on the PS4. So will Way Out, I think. So that there's not a lot there, but I do like that they are teaming up with. It seems like they're getting that initiative of like indie development relationships going again. And we got Cuphead, we got those kinds of things. So that's a positive thing.
They are steps in the right direction.
Right.
They're baby steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
But it is progress in the right direction. It needs to be strides at this point.
Yeah.
Like, moving the compass 1 degree is not enough. Like it's time to correct. You know what I mean? Like it's really time to make some strides in the right direction.
I want them to do a huge push in the indie market, because like PC's got such a huge library of indie games. I don't know how difficult it would be to port it over to Xbox, but like getting on the PC platform or the Windows Store is doable, I would think, if they open up the doors, because it's on PC, so it's just building it for a different store. But then like, the Switch is starting to get all these like really cool indie games, and I think Xbox has room to develop that more, and that's a market that they could tap into a lot. PS4 embraced that quite a bit, and that's been very successful for them, because they've managed. They've been pushing hard, and Xbox used to do that with the Xbox Live Arcade stuff. Like that was such a big part of it.
Yeah, they really.
And then they kind of lost focus.
Like I think about like one of the biggest successful moments they had was that summer promotion when they had, it was not Inside, but the other one that they made, Limbo. They had Limbo, and then they had another of those puzzle platformer games, the very popular one where you can...
Ori?
No. Go back in time. It was earlier.
Bastion?
Braid, thank you.
Yeah.
Braid. It was like a summer deal where you did like... Because I had never heard of these at the time, but that summer promotion came out. I was like, hey, get this, get Braid, get Limbo, and we'll give you another discount off another game, and you can get another game for free. And it was a whole bunch of indie title stuff. And I was like, man, Xbox is killing it, because I got all of those.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the best summers I had. I played 2 amazing games.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here looking at the arcade, and I'm like, this is like a desert in here.
Yeah.
And yes, I still have a ton of games that are in my library that are the backwards compatible or the free games. And those free games just aren't enough to...
Yeah. So
hold it up.
do you use your Xbox for more than a game system? Do you use it for the Netflix and the Hulus and HBOs and stuff like that, or do you have use your Apple TV?
I use my Apple TV for that.
Okay, so you don't actually use it as a media consumption device.
The only media I put on there is music and movies.
Okay,
that's about it. Which is why I have my external hard drive there.
Right.
I don't have a PC, so for me, that's where I hold my music and I hold my movies.
Well, they did announce Spotify for it, so that's kind of cool. I guess if you have a home connected system, you have speakers hooked up to it or whatever. That's a nice feature. But I don't know. I mean, like when they came out and they were like, "This is going to be the your all in one, everything you've ever wanted in a console," it didn't do it for me. Like it's clunky. The UI doesn't work the way I want it to.
No, absolutely not. The home screen is confusing. Yeah. The interaction with that UI while in a game is also equally as frustrating, if not more so. A lot of it just really is working against itself.
Yeah,
that's the part that frustrates me. It's a UI that works against itself with its interaction.
Right,
and so I don't know what Xbox, like, I don't think there's one specific key answer that they're going to need to do in order to fix everything. Like it's going to be a process, and this console has the foundation to make it great.
Right.
It really does. Like, I mean, everything we've seen about it, this is going to be a powerhouse of a console, but it's going to take strides of so many different kinds of games, of the user interface, of its capabilities of interplayer connectivity, because that's also been a bit of a frustration with people playing with each other and the connectivity issues of the Xbox Live Party. Like they've got a hill up against them, and I want it to go successfully. I don't know if it is though.
I'm looking back at old Microsoft Studio titles, and I was trying to think, like, what if they revived, old titles that are Microsoft things?
Yeah,
but
there's a ton that they could revive.
Sort of. I don't know. It's. I'm looking at. I mean, I see repetition with Forza, Halo, Forza, Halo, Gears. That's and then Fable, which they don't have anymore, and that's upsetting to me. Like, that was such a good series, and I know there were some weird issues with that, and I think Peter Molyneux and all that, like, something happened there.
Molyneux ruined it.
Yeah, it just fell apart, and that sucks because that was a good franchise for Microsoft. But one thing that we haven't discussed yet, which I'm curious to see what's going to happen, because I do know this is going on right now, but Remedy Entertainment, the ones that did Quantum Break and Alan Wake, they are working on a new title. It's supposed to be different and new, but I don't know when it's going to come out. I mean, Quantum Break came out in 2015, so that wasn't that long ago.
That's not that long ago.
We could see a 2019 for that, but that's still so far for this. But that's the only other studio that is under the Microsoft Studios nomenclature. I feel like they had that Scalebound game that got canceled, which that was a bummer because people were excited about that.
People were very excited about Scalebound.
But I'm trying to think of, like, is there anything that they could revive? But they're really...
I would love to see
Fable, Halo,
I would love to see the Condemned series.
Condemned would be cool.
Pick back up. That was a great survival horror psycho thriller.
Right.
That one was great.
Huh. Man, I don't know. I mean, what do you think they need as an Xbox guy? Is there something that... I mean, what is missing for you? Is there anything missing for you? Are you satisfied?
No. Short answer, no. I think it's literally going to take a new IP, and maybe the other new one with all the jetpacks and the
Lawbreakers.
No,
that's the PC only. Anthem.
Thank you, Anthem. Maybe Anthem is going to do something along that lines to really, bring the strength back.
I'm gonna be curious to see sales of Destiny 2 and console, or console versus PC and all that. I'm curious to see the distribution of sales on that, because I feel like Destiny 2, for some reason, to me, feels like it's, even though they have PS4 exclusivity, like on DLC and things of that nature, I feel like I could associate that a lot more. I mean, I guess because it's Bungie, but like I associate that a lot with Microsoft.
I do
in
too.
a way. So
I do too. Did it sell more on Xbox or
I don't know.
or PS4?
I'm not sure. But
those would be interesting sales number to find out, because I feel like I knew a lot more people, and not just my circle of friends, but just a lot of people I knew in general who played Destiny more on the Xbox than they did on the PS4. And yeah, I knew some friends who played on the PS4 because, again, they liked the exclusivity of, like, they got the extra strike or they got to have just a couple extra dings to it. But I knew a lot of people who played Destiny on the Xbox One. And maybe Destiny 2 does that for them. Maybe Destiny 2 gives them enough oomph into the market with sales, but
yeah,
that's a step at best. Even that's a stepping stone because, again, that's
still just one game.
It's still just one game. They really need to hit some titles. They need to hit some good multiplayer. They need to hit some good single player stuff. I mean, they really need to have. I almost want to say trust with developers.
Evenly split, roughly.
Really?
Despite the push on PlayStation, it was about
evenly split. Wow.
Now, this was an article from back like early on, but still, like, it was kind of. I could see that being kind of an even keel because Destiny to me has that. You have the types of gamers out there. I mean, a lot of our audience probably is this way because they're more casual gamers and stuff like that. But like, they don't play a lot of different games. But like, I was talking to somebody at our meetup last week, and I mentioned that who we are. We're a gaming group, and the first thing he asked me was, "Are you a Destiny guy?" And he didn't seem like a big time gamer, but like that was his game. So Destiny is kind of like the Halo. It's still like the Halo.
Well, it's definitely the far.
Xbox
It's the far-reaching game.
Yeah.
Of those two consoles and PC.
Yeah.
Like it definitely reached a lot of public, and Destiny 2. I mean, hopefully it helps sustain Microsoft, but I'm hoping that it sustains it long enough to where it actually gets them to create their own. They need a nice footprint with this console. They really need it.
They really do.
So we'll see.
Anyway, so November we have the new Xbox One X coming out, and there's a lot of titles that are going to showcase the hardware really well. But I wish there was more exclusive stuff. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, 2018, is going to be a very big deciding year for that console system because. I mean, they're releasing at the right time, but missing out on Crackdown. Nobody's going to buy unless they have some kind of fancy bundle with like Assassin's Creed Origins or something like that. Like, I don't know if there's a big enough reason for like parents to be like, hey, I'm going to buy you this over like the Xbox One S. They would be smart if they did some kind of bundled system. Like, they didn't have a bundle for the Xbox One S, but they did have a bundle for Xbox One X. But I don't think they're going to do that because it's a brand new piece of hardware.
They've done a holiday bundle every single holiday, and whether it's like the one where they included the Xbox 360 with Lego Batman and another game, or the Resident Evil 5 version that came with the Blood Red system that came with Resident Evil 5. They didn't do anything with the Xbox One S. I don't necessarily think they needed to. I think that was a tied over console until this was going to come out.
Oh yeah.
I could see it, but I can also see it being immensely expensive.
Oh yeah.
And maybe it's something that it's not that it doesn't come with a game, but maybe it comes with another controller or some other apparatus. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think this is the year for Xbox One X yet.
No.
I think next year will be. I think we'll see.
That would be fair.
We'll see something happen with it next year. We'll see a lot more games. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, Red Dead Redemption on that console is going to be sick.
Gorgeous.
You know that's going to be Xbox One X in hands. And that could be a push. That could help people out.
I didn't think about that, but yeah. I mean, and maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe the strategy is to just put out the foundation for the console right now, and then just let the games do the work in the following year.
And I was looking back on like when the PlayStation 4 first came out. I bought it 2 months after it came out, back in 2013 or something like that. The only titles that came out for that were exclusive were Killzone Shadowfall, Knack. That was it. I think that was so they didn't have any exclusives either. They had stuff that carried over from PS3 that were like up-res. Like they had The Last of Us remaster that came out not too long afterwards.
Yep.
They brought over Injustice, which was enhanced for PS4, but it was still a PS3 game. I mean, you could tell that the graphics were a little dated. So they had that, and they had like Wolfenstein and stuff like that was carried over, but they weren't for that system. So you didn't know what that system could do until the next year. And that's when everybody else bought it.
That's something that I think is also very important, because even with like, I'm going to go even further back with God of War like 3.
Yeah.
The developers at the time were like, we are really trying to stretch and really flex the arm of the PS3, because no one had really tested the hardware to what its full capabilities could have been.
Yeah.
And maybe in this next year, with the availability of the Xbox One X, maybe we are going to see some people, we'll see some developers who really want to test like a really stunning looking console game that they can
maybe Unreal
push.
would be like Unreal 5.
Oh my
now
God.
visible on the Xbox One X.
Half-Life 3 on the Xbox One X.
Oh, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. It's going to be an artifact in that Dota card game. I promise you. It's going to be the artifact.
No one asked for a Dota card game.
Anyway, so I mean, I guess it's interesting. We started this conversation. I was very negative about it, but now that I feel like we're coming to the end, I feel kind of slightly positive and hopeful.
Hopeful.
I don't know how that happened.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic.
We'll put it at that. Cautiously optimistic.
You know, look, I guess, like I said, looking back on old console releases, they weren't great. None of them really. I mean, even the Switch. People are like, why buy a Switch? Because there's just Zelda.
Yeah.
And now here we are 4 months later. We're like, this is the best freaking thing I've ever played in my life. Like, there's so much coming out. So
same thing for the Wii when it first came out.
This is the beta period of that system. And then
honestly,
we'll
the PlayStation 3 kind of had the same thing with its launch.
Oh, PlayStation 3 had a bad launch. You know,
terrible.
It was so bad.
Atrocious
super
launch.
Expensive. Nobody played it. And
hardly any games that were on it.
At the end of it, people were like, that's a generation that I missed because of Heavy Rain and Last of Us and all these, like, and all the Uncharted games. Like, yeah. So there's still room for it, but I really hope we see some new games coming out for them next year. Because I love that they have the Play Anywhere, because there's a lot of games I wish I had played on the Xbox.
Right.
But I'm not an Xbox guy much anymore. So now that they have that
Maybe
system,
you
I
will
can
be.
still play with you guys on PC.
Sure.
And do that thing. So that'll be good. So anyway, if you guys have any opinions about this, let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments below.
Are you going to buy an Xbox One X? And if so, why?
Yeah.
And if not, why? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know your thoughts.
That's going to conclude our discussion topic this week. Thank you guys for watching or listening. If you're listening to the podcast, if there's a topic you want to hear us talk about, you can let us know at hello@theinnergamer.net.
Is there a graphic that I'm doing? Like when I do this, is there a graphic here?
I wish there's an invisible graphic. You have to have Google Glass to or you have to have the what do you call it?
No one has Google Glass
from Horizon Zero Dawn, or the thing, you know, that just makes it show up.
As we talk about Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Take care.